Howdy y'all, and welcome. Hope everyone's having a great start to the new year. I'm sure y'all have heard about this upcoming winter storm that's going to be impacting the Midwest and Ohio Valley this weekend. Before we take a look at that, we got to take a look at the differences between a blizzard and a winter storm. Not every winter storm is a blizzard. Blizzards are violent winter storms that last at least 3 hours, combine sub-freezing temperatures with high winds, which causes blowing snow, which reduces visibilities to less than a quarter of a mile. So that's basically the differences between a blizzard and a winter storm. Now, am I expecting a blizzard this weekend? We'll just have to find out here on the GFS. Now, it's looking like today we're going to be coming in on some pretty significant snowfall up here in the northeast after y'all got in on some pretty drenching rain. If y'all went to the ball drop in New York City, y'all most likely got drenched on. I guess it's worth it. I wouldn't want to be drenched on. Northeast dealing with some snowfall today. Northwest dealing with some snowfall as well. But the rest of the country is looking to be relatively dry here on New Year's. It's looking like this atmospheric river is going to be continuing out here in the northwest here in the short term, dealing with some lake effect snow over here by Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, Kentucky. But watch as we head into this weekend. This is the main story that we're keeping our eye on, as it's looking like a winter storm is going to be impacting the Midwest and Ohio Valley region. Now, who gets in on icing, who gets on snow is to be determined, but it's starting to become more clear as we get closer. Now, whoever gets in on icing is obviously going to be coming in on less snow, and it's looking like there could be some severe weather on Sunday as well, as the Storm Prediction Center has already put out a 15% chance from Texas up into Mississippi. Y'all can take a look at the wording if you want to. I'll be updating y'all on X and Facebook. I know I haven't been posting much on there because, as y'all can see, got a new setup going on here. Been working on this here lately, but I'll be picking up on the posting on there on X and Facebook. So make sure you go follow those pages if you haven't done so already. It's looking like an active weather pattern is going to be setting up as we head into this weekend. Let's go and take a look at the different sort of model runs. Here's the GFS on Sunday. It's going to last all the way into Monday into Tuesday. Some lingering snow showers in the Appalachian Mountains. But let's take a look at the Euro. Rewind this, we can see showing a little bit of the same as the GFS. It all comes down to that icing line though, as both the GFS and the Euro are showing a little bit of a mixing on here in southern Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois. Lastly, take a look at the Canadian before we take a look at the national blended models, showing more icing on the Canadian model with backside snow in southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and southern Ohio. But central and northern Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, and much of Missouri dealing with the snowfall. So really, it comes down to the temperatures. If you take a look at the national blended models, this is most likely what your local meteorologist and National Weather Service use. If you ever pull up the Weather Channel app or any sort of weather app, most likely shows the national blended models if it's well over a week out. Zoom in here to the eastern half of the country. Now, this model puts all the model runs into one run, by the way, if I forgot to mention that. It gives the most conservative totals. That's why we use it here at Williams Weather. We don't do the overhyping or none of that clickbaity stuff. As we can see, right around 3 to 6 inches on average, with locally higher amounts possible within this area. So I went ahead and issued a bread and milk warning for this area right here. Basically means that go ahead and get what you need now before the stores are raided from essentials that you need. Because regardless of ice or snow, this area is going to be seeing some sort of winter-like conditions. I'll be out there outside of the Williams Weather headquarters reporting on this winter storm if we get in on any sort of snowfall, which we will most likely see snow because pretty good chance of it. If I don't forget to charge the drone, I will get that up in the air and get some drone footage for y'all as well. So looks like it could be coming in on a major system this weekend, so prepare now, y'all. And like I said earlier with the icing, it all comes down to the temperatures. We take a look at the temperatures on here. Rewind this to Saturday, actually. We can see about 20-degree temperatures on Saturday. It's going to warm up a little bit, and this is probably why the models are showing some icing. So we can see right around near freezing temperatures down here in northern Kentucky, southern Illinois. But I'm thinking more in the lines of we're going to be getting on more snowfall for this part of the area. And I think the icing is going to be further towards the south, down here by Tennessee, Missouri, and a little bit of Arkansas. But anything changes, I will be posting on it, of course. Regardless, I think this area is going to be seeing some sort of winter storm. Not a blizzard. I'm not really thinking too much of any sort of blizzard-like conditions. But heck, you never know. 2024 was crazy. 2025 might be even crazier. Crazier stuff has happened. So, again, now keep reading myself, but I'll let you all know. We can see the ice totals here as well. I don't think this is going to happen. I think that National Blended Models is overdoing it. Could see 1/10 of an inch, but it might happen. So prepare now, y'all. And as Ron Burgundy says, the forecast for this weekend could be seeing 1 inch to 2 feet of snow. So We see now on the models it's about a foot of snow, but during the actual event, might not get nothing at all. We've had that before. Weather reports in a perfect world, snowy conditions persist, so we remind our viewers to stay off the roads if they suck at driving. For our viewers who know how to turn into a skid, knock yourself out, it's just snow. And here is how the weather models calculate snowfall. This is why the weather models are very inaccurate when it comes to winter storms, and that's why winter storms are so hard to predict, but AI might fix this in the future. You never know, the models might actually one day be 100% accurate. But I'm going to go through this really quickly. Number 1, precipitation prediction. Weather models first predict the latest amount of precipitation. This is done by analyzing atmospheric moisture content, convergence zones, and other meteorological factors. Number 2, the temperature profile. The vertical temperature profile from the ground to the height where precipitation is formed is crucial. Snow generally forms when temperatures are below freezing, obviously. In the cloud layer where precipitation originates, however, if the air near the ground is much warmer, snow might melt into rain before reaching the ground. Now, this is probably why it was showing icing down by southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, southern Illinois, and southern Ohio, because it's going to be a little bit below freezing in that area. And we could be coming in on icing. Ground temperatures could be freezing, but the air temperatures are a little bit warmer. You have snow coming down, you have that warm layer, melts into rain, and the ground layer is freezing. That's how you get your ice. And that's pretty much what it's saying here. Now the freezing level, models calculate the height at which the temperature crosses from above to below freezing. Snow is expected below this level, but if it's too high up, snow might not reach the ground as snow. That's why if you ever see it on a radar, it has snow over your location, but it's not reaching the ground, that's typically what happens there. Snow to liquid ratio. The ratio varies widely, but typically averages around 10 to 1, 10 inches of snow for every 1 inch of liquid equivalent. However, this can range from 5 to 1 for wet heavy snow to 20 to 1 for more light fluffy snow, which most likely we'll see the 20 to 1 because it's going to be very cold during that event. Models use temperature, humidity, and sometimes wind conditions to estimate the ratio. Lower temperatures and lower moisture content lead to higher ratios. Number 4, microphysics schemes. Advanced models use microphysics schemes like the GEFS model, I use it sometimes, it shows this, and simulate the formation and behavior of different types of ice particles, their growth, aggregation, and melting. This helps in predicting not only the amount, but also the type of snowfall, like sleet and freezing rain. Number 5, surface conditions. Ground temperatures and conditions can affect how snow accumulates or melts. Models include parameters for ground temperatures, soil moisture, and even urban versus rural land use, which can influence snow accumulation. Number 6, post-processing and adjustment. Raw model outputs are often adjusted or post-processed. This might involve blending data from multiple models like the National Builder models, applying local corrections based on historical data, or using statistical methods to refine predictions. And number 7, verification and feedback. After events, data from weather stations, satellite imagery, and other observational networks are used to verify model performance. This feedback helps refine future predictions. Kind of like the CocoRoz network, if y'all ever heard of that. It's basically you're volunteering your time to look at rain totals and snow totals for your area, and you report that to that network, and they report it to your local meteorologist. So when you see a snow forecast, remember it's a synthesis of these elements, aiming to predict not just if it will snow, but how much, the type of snow, and how it will affect the ground conditions. Keep in mind that due to the complexity and variability involved, snow forecasts can be less accurate than rain forecasts, why winter storms are harder to predict than severe weather, particularly for small areas during borderline temperature conditions, which we'll most likely see during this winter event. So basically, needless to say, winter storms are just so hard to predict that they're just unreliable at this point. But who knows, maybe in the future, AI will take over the forecast models and they'll start to become more accurate. Now here's some ways that you can prepare for the winter storm before we take a look at the next couple of weeks. Basically, bring those pets inside, stock up on your essentials, let your pipes drip so they don't freeze. And here is more ways that you can prepare for the winter storm. Bring the pets in and listen to the news. Don't listen to the fake news. Avoid black ice if you're traveling. Dress in several layers. And make sure you shovel the snow carefully, because there can be some heart attacks that occur because you're straining too much. And if you are traveling, make sure you pack the essentials with you in case you get stuck. Blankets, kitty litter, make sure you have a full tank of gas and flares. Make sure you turn your headlights on if you're traveling. Give yourself some space, because I know people like to ride people's bumpers nowadays. Slow, steady wins the race. And if you do get stuck, I have seen that Vince and Brandon Kopic, Storm Chasers, they use a sled looking thing to help people get unstuck. So that's something that y'all can look into. That would help y'all out too if you ever get stuck. And here's some icy driving tips. If you do get in on ice and you're actually driving in the ice storm, invest in winter tires. Trust me, it's worth it. Don't use cruise control. Take it easy on the brakes. If you start to slide or skid, do not brake. Keep an eye out for black ice and double your following distance. Because you don't want to be like this guy in the Cavalier running into the Pinto. And you don't want to be doing this kind of thing, although this is pretty cool too. So basically, rain with freezing temperatures, ice can form on roads, which leads to dangerous travel, obviously. So basically, just use your common sense, stock up on your goods that you need now before the stores are raided, because you have ample warning time between now and the actual event, which is going to be on Sunday. So make sure to go out, get what you need, prepare now. If you're going to be out traveling on Sunday, make sure to be careful. Don't head out if you don't have to, but if you have to, please be careful and use your common sense. Turn the headlights on, pack what you need in your car. Now back to the GFS here. Once we get past that winter storm and y'all are digging out from that, it's looking like could be coming in on some dry conditions, except for some snow over here in the mountain west and some lake effect snow in the northeast. And it's looking like we could be coming in on some winter storms down here by Texas, on over into the deep south as we head into next weekend. Something to keep our eye on. This is well over 200 hours out. Anything can well change, obviously, but it could be cold enough for some snow down there. See a little bit of a trough rolling in. Look like an active weather pattern is going to be picking up with some severe weather even as we head into the middle and end of the month. Now, as we take a look at the precipitation outlook by the Climate Prediction Center, we can see that although the GFS was showing an active weather pattern as we head into the middle of the month, the Climate Prediction Center is in a little bit of disagreement with that, which I'm in sort of agreement with it too, because it's looking like after we get past this winter storm that's coming up, it could be coming in on a below average precipitation pattern, which is shown here. Although the central part of the country down into Florida is going to be coming into some more winter storms and potential severe weather potentially. That's why they issued an above average precipitation outlook here. And of course, out west, coming into a below average precipitation pattern, because after we move past the 5th, looking like the atmospheric river event's going to be over and you're going to start to dry out. So the atmospheric river event ain't going to be lasting too much longer. Y'all may saw on the thumbnail as well that that's going to be finally coming to an end, and you're going to finally be done with the rain and heavy snow here soon. Next 8 to 14 days looks just about the same, really. More of the eastern half of the country is going to be in a below average pattern, as well as up here in the northeast, but really the southern half down here by Texas and the Florida, and the northern half still going to remain above average, while the Mountain West is going to remain below average. So regardless, it's looking like an active weather pattern in the short term, and the long term could be drying out amongst much of the country. Could be coming in on some snowstorms down here in the deep south on over into Texas. So be keeping an eye on the winter storm potential down there, although most likely won't happen as it's so far out. But again, anything can will change. I'll keep y'all informed on that, of course. As far as the risk for heavy snow, we can see really much of the eastern half of the country is coming in on some heavy snow as we head into and past this weekend, so be prepared for that. Use your common sense if you're heading out, by the way, and grab what you need now before the stores are raided. So now that we covered that winter storm that's going to be coming in this weekend, it's going to take a look at our temperature pattern of what we could expect. Y'all may saw on the thumbnail as well that we could be coming in on a polar vortex. That is not clickbait, by the way. We can see as we head into the new year, some warm temperatures could be in store. We head into Friday. But watch as we head into Sunday. This is why they issued that 15% chance for severe weather. It's because there's going to be some warm temperatures here and cold air here. So warm air to the north, cold air to the south. Recipe for some severe weather. And that's why it was showing some icing over here in northern Kentucky, Indiana, and southern Illinois. Warm air stretching to the north and cold air coming to the south. But I'm thinking more snow than ice. But of course, that change, obviously. And once we move past that, that cold air is going to win out and could come in on some falling iguanas down here by Florida. As some negative temperatures are going to be stretching down bringing that polar vortex with it. And we're just going to remain in that chilly pattern for quite some time. So January is looking to be very frigid compared to at least to what December was. When we take a look at the temperature anomalies, it shows us our above and below average temperature pattern. And we can see once we move past that snowstorm, about 30 degrees below average temperatures is going to be expected. So definitely prepare for what could be a polar vortex moving in. So we move past this weekend, y'all. This ain't going to be fun. Take a look at the apparent temperatures, what we could be getting in on. Some well below average temperatures could lead to negative temperatures, especially in the northern half of the country. So definitely prepare now in advance, because negative temperatures is looking to be sticking around for quite some time. And here in a little bit, I'll show y'all how to prepare for the cold weather, but basically just bundle up, use your common sense. And really, we don't need the Climate Prediction Center to tell us it's going to be bone-chilling cold, because it is. You can see the eastern half of the country is well below average, while over here by California and Washington, it's going to be above average. Next 8 to 14 days, really much of the same story. So basically, it's going to be looking like a sucky wintertime weather pattern is going to be in store as we head in the meat and potatoes of January. Winter storms going to be possible, as well as that polar vortex. Now, as far as the 8 to 14 day U.S. hazards outlook goes, we can see from the 8th into the 13th, much below normal temperatures expected for much of the eastern half of the country. So, winter is here, y'all. January is coming in like a lion. And we take a look at the temperature outlook, really the same story. But this sort of reminds me of last year. Last year, we dealt with this sort of same kind of situation where we were dealing with the polar vortex in January, and it was sort of warm in December. Sort of the same situation. And here's how you can prepare your home for the cold weather. Basically, just bundle it up. Make sure those pipes don't bust, and make sure things working like it should, like your furnace and all that. Here's how you can dress for the cold weather. Basically, bundle up in 3 or more layers. More layers the better, especially with the negative temperatures coming up. Here's signs of hypothermia, confusion, shivering, difficulty speaking, sleepiness, and stiff muscles. And here's that same graphic just zoomed up for y'all. There's mention of some falling iguanas going to be happening. That is going to be happening as we head past this weekend. With below 40 degree temperatures, iguanas become incapacitated. They're basically in a coma at that point. Now, shifting gears away from the depressing winter weather that's going to be coming up here in January, here's what's happened in this week in weather history from the 1st all the way into the 10th. Now, in 1949, from the 2nd to the 5th, there was a blizzard that struck the central part of the country, particularly Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, and South Dakota. It was one of the worst blizzards in the region's history, with some places reporting snow drifts as high as 40 feet. They typically get that in Buffalo in just one day, typically. 1993, the storm of the century. This was a massive cyclonic storm affecting the eastern part of the country and parts of Canada as well. Caused widespread blizzard conditions and a record low pressure, and it was responsible for over 300 deaths across the region. Happened from the 4th into the 5th. Now, January 1996, blizzard occurred from the 6th to the 8th, sort of the same time we're getting in on this upcoming winter storm. It was another significant storm for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. This blizzard brought heavy snow from Virginia to Maine, with some areas seeing over 30 inches of snow. It led to widespread disruptions, including the temporary closure of the government, where they can buy them as spying online. And last one, January 2010, the North American blizzard occurred January 6th to the 8th. This blizzard affected a large area from Oklahoma to New England, with some areas receiving over 2 feet of snow, notable for heavy snowfall in the mid-Atlantic states, particularly around D.C., where over 20 inches fell. Now, I do want to show y'all one last piece of weather history that occurred here on New Year's, actually. Back in 1864, snow gales and severe cold hit the Midwest. It was the most bitter cold New Year's Day on record, with afternoon highs 16 below zero in Chicago and 25 below in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And a farmer near Huntertown, Indiana, reported the same high temperature as Chicago with a low of negative 21 degrees. In his weather diary, he made the remark, "Rough day in Louisville," dropped 67 degrees to negative 20 in Lansing, Michigan, set a record low with negative 20 degrees. So that's some weather history for y'all here for the next couple of weeks. Now, lastly, let's get into the year in review, as it has been a very crazy year. Now, I couldn't find many illustrations on the severe weather, but here's some warning I put up. As the U.S. saw numerous tornado outbreaks, notable events in April and May, including an early morning outbreak on April 2nd, where 19 tornadoes touched down in the Quad State region. Significant tornado activity continued with a multi-round weather event on May 8th, issuing the highest number of warnings in a single day for that region. Additionally, a deadly EF4 tornado struck Greenfield, Iowa on May 21st, showcasing the destructive capability of even relatively small tornadoes. Now, basically, this year, Iowa, Nebraska, and Oklahoma saw the most tornadoes, with Florida seeing the most tornadoes caused by hurricanes. I do remember that. And here is the United States tornadoes of 2024. We can see down here by Florida because of those hurricanes that went on, but you can see the deadly year of tornadoes that occurred in April and May. Now, hurricane season, it was active as well, with the most notable hurricanes being Beryl, Helene, and Milton. We take a look at Beryl. It was mainly known for strengthening so fast into a Cat 5, caused 4 fatalities in Texas and Louisiana due to trees falling on homes. Helene, this one was known for causing impacts in North Carolina, not just in Florida. Still feel free all down there. FEMA didn't step up when they should have. Shame on them. And here's an illustration of Helene. It joined to the ranks of these major hurricanes that have struck the Gulf Coast. Here's all the power outages that occurred, and it washed away the road, and it's still washed away to this day in eastern Tennessee. And here is Milton. Milton is known for maintaining Cat 5 strengths for so long, and it tore the building off of the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium. Those are the hurricanes in 2024. Here is the storm surge it caused, and this one was mainly known for its tornado warnings in Florida. It caused so many tornado warnings it set a record, actually. It's number 2 for the state of Florida. Now, other than hurricanes, we've got the solar eclipse that occurred this year. Now, there is down below, down there, the solar eclipse that we caught here in southern Indiana. That was a pretty cool event. Next time we see one, won't really be here. It'll be in 2045. I'll put up the graphic here, show y'all, but it'll be in 2045. So most likely we won't be able to see it. That was something pretty cool, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime event. Next is the auroras. Those were pretty cool. We had a G5 storm, which is known for causing blackouts, although that didn't happen. We can see the wording here. It was marked as an extraordinary display due to increased solar activity associated with the solar maximum. Notable auroras events included those in May and October. The May event was particularly significant, possibly being one of the strongest aurora displays in the past 500 years, with visibility extending as far south as Florida and in Ladakh, India. This was caused by a series of coronal mass ejections, CMEs, that triggered a G5 magnetic storm, the strongest classification leading to a spectacular display of lights. So basically, it was a G5 magnetic storm that resulted in these kind of colors here. And here's what the colors mean. Basically, nitrogen is blue, oxygen is the yellowish green, high altitude oxygen is purple. So I hope you all enjoyed today's weather forecast. If you did, make sure you hit that like and share buttons for more folks informed about the weather. Also, leave me some feedback in the comment section down below. It's feedback helps provide you the viewer better and more informed content in the future. Also, hit that subscribe button with bell notifications turned on, because here one's weather we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. Also have a Rumble channel if you want to check that out. It's WilliamsWX98. Trying to grow that channel as well. As you can see, got a new setup here, trying to work out the bugs, so bear with me, y'all. Most likely the sound ain't like it was in the last video, but I'm working on that. Trust me, it's coming together, y'all. So basically, prepare for this upcoming winter storm this weekend. Y'all have pretty ample warning time to get what you need now. I would go now to get what you need. And if you have to head out on the roads, please be careful. If you don't have to head out, don't. If you have to, please use your common sense and bring what you need with you so you don't get stranded out there and you get hypothermia and all that. Now I'll be outside here at the Williams Weather Headquarters reporting on the snowfall if we get in on any, and I'll put the drone up in the air as well. Don't forget to get that charged up. I'll look forward to that. And once we move past that winter storm, that polar vortex is going to start to stretch down towards the south, and negative temperatures are going to be felt for quite some time. So January is coming in like a lion, y'all. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Hope y'all have a great new year, and until next time, never stop forecasting.